one, got the MVP for that as well. Now that they're back on red side, they're going to keep it away from Goong as well.
And they're probably looking to first pick that Gragas one more time. So is Thresh going to be taken out right here? They may be willing to, they're going to take it out. They don't want to take it on the second rotation, but this leaves that Gragas. It's been first picked by both teams in both games.
Oh, nope. Shyvana.
Switching it up. Shyvana will be the selection. Annie gets through the pick and ban phase. So does Gragas.
That's a strong combo for Najin White Shield early on.
Well, I mean,
well, not combo. You know what I mean. It's a strong couple of champions. They actually are an anti-combo together.
It just is dangerous because you have to hit that anti-stun first, and so if you do it right, it's really good. But in my opinion, anti-Gragas leaves you open to too much room for error in terms of who engages.
You know, a good explosive cast can knock somebody into a very deadly anti-stun as well, too. So there's different ways they can work together, but their ultimates do not synergize very well.
No, they don't. And you really want to get that multi-person stun, and if you use explosive casts, the odds of you landing a multi-person stun afterwards are really not good. So
yeah, it's kind of like the old back in the day we used to see Gragas and Amumu all the time together.
I used to complain about that all the time, remember?
I know, I remember that. I remember it fondly. The days when you complain
about Gragas and Amumu anti-synergy.
My life wouldn't be complete without it.
Well, there we go. So Elise taken away from Nofei this game.
Yeah.
And they're going to grab that Ezreal early on. I think this is the best plan. Put Arrow on his comfort pick. And Save used to play a lot of Kha'Zix, actually, when he was a mid laner. Probably the champion that I most associate with him. And, of course, Gragas Kha'Zix is an incredibly strong combo.
Yeah. Yeah, you get a lot of resets, a lot of assassination potential there. And I wouldn't be surprised if they locked it in.
Yeah, they don't really have any tankiness so far in this composition.
Thinking about that Lucian as well. And a tanky jungle, you know, something like possibly, depending on how they build it, like we have seen Jungle Mundo in the past. So they've got some options to add that tankiness to this team.
Yeah, but Mundo doesn't allow you to make as many plays early, and Najin Shield really needs Nofei early on in the game.
What do you think about a tanky Olaf or something?
Yeah, tanky Olaf might work right here. Surprisingly, we haven't seen any Olaf tonight. I mean, Lee Sin and Elise both being up, and generally the go-to jungle picks here in Korea, even above Olaf. So
almost a little mini Cloud Templar tribute for a second there.
It's also possible that Nofei will play Kha'Zix in the jungle.
It's a Cloud Templar tribute. Although, you know, Amumu has been getting very popular on the Korean server at the high ELOs, actually. He's coming back big time.
Nope, they're just trolling Templar.
I think so, too. But I'm telling you, I think we're going to see an Amumu pretty soon. And there's Orianna picked up for Coco.
And Leona.
Yeah.
Grabbed here as well. So they're going for another one of these Wombo comps. It worked for them last game.
Certainly did. They looked much more comfortable playing that. And it looked like they successfully made Shield a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, so they're using another ranged hard CC initiator. So in effect, Xenics Storm is playing the same comp as last game. Yeah. They've got, you know, Lee Sin and Elise relatively interchangeable as far as jungles go. You do have a little bit better, of course, pick potential with Elise, with that Cocoon. And you still have the Ezreal for the mobility and arrow kind of babysitting himself. And they're looking to set up for that hard CC initiate and follow it up with the Shiv Ori Wombo.
Oh, going Lee Sin would be very aggressive here, and they're going to pick it in. Wow, I thought I was going to be right for a second there. Oh, wow.
So Najin Shield, they need an advantage early. I actually, no, I really don't like their composition. They don't have hardly any tankiness whatsoever. Lee Sin, you know, he's not usually one to rush that Spirit of the Ancient Golem and get tanky because you want to build that Sight Stone to maximize his potential and his mobility. So they're going to have to make a lot of picks right here. The problem is when you have Gragas and Kha'Zix together, you want to be able to get those resets onto Kha'Zix.
You know, it almost seems like Najin Shield is trying to outstorm Xenics Storm, you know? They're trying to go for a more aggressive comp.
They're going to do a lot of damage early, but if this goes late, I don't really see how Najin Shield is going to be able to survive. Their composition doesn't play into where the meta is right now in terms of what's strong with these top lane kind of tanky champions and these tanky junglers that are coming into vogue. Now, they can still do well early, and they only really need one good team fight where Kha'Zix gets a few resets to get a tremendous advantage.
Exactly.
But it's risky, very, very risky.
Well, we'll see what happens here. We're all tied up in this best of 5 right now, so the lead will be taken by whoever wins this game. Will it be Xenics Storm? Will it be Najin White Shield? The game's loading up. We're about to find out. Game number 3 on Champions Winter, our quarterfinal match for tonight. Second to last one. Game 3, let's do it. And here we go, guys. Game number 3, Xenics Storm versus Najin White Shield, all tied up 1-1. They should make a league version of Field of Dreams, you know, where they like some guy builds a Summoner's Rift in his backyard, and like Makuza and Cloud Templar like walk out of it and then play with him and stuff, you know.
That'd be good. I was afraid you were going to say, and then like a bunch of internet trolls like
Well,
invade his house.
No, yeah. If you build it, they will troll. That sounds good.
Well, Gorilla's starting again with the Doran Shield start. Now, this did work up to a point last game. They did get the advantage to shove in, but, of course, that opened them up later on to Swift being able to pick up some kills in that bottom lane as they reversed that pressure and punished them from being a little bit far forward. So I feel like it was kind of a mixed bag last game because they actually didn't even get the turret first in that bottom lane. Thanks to the kills that turned the tide before they could take it down. So
I did not listen to anything you just said because I was watching Oriana dance.
That's what she wants to. She's just trying to distract you.
There you go.
It's working. Save maybe playing in the mid lane this game does have that early red pot start, and Coco trying to look at that. He's trying to see what the hell's going on right there to know where everybody's going to end up on the map.
All right. Relic Shield for Peekaboo too. Not an uncommon start on Leonas these days. All right.
That's right, but they are going to go ahead and 2v1 up here, so they get the deep ward in. Goong goes to help early on, and this is one of the flexibilities that the team has. When Goong has played Gragas in the past, they have that option to put Save in. We talked about this earlier, but Save in that mid lane position where he used to play, so he's very comfortable on a mid lane Kha'Zix pick in mid. He knows how to play the lane.
No fake coming in for level 2 gang. That's right, that's right. E goes down. There's the Ignite onto Coco. Coco in big trouble, and there's a flash for the first blood for Save.
So that was a little bit interesting. There were wards.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out how he actually got in there. Given that situation.
A little bit of inattentiveness. That's all it takes. Save gonna that was a recall right on that ward.
That was really dangerous by Coco as well. You know Save's in there.
Yeah.
He's got that elixir, and they also knew that red was being taken, so there is that threat of the level 2 gank coming in from Lee Sin. That was a bit of a blunder by Coco.
Well, that's pretty huge to give Save that first blood. Coming back to lane with that longsword. It's going to be scary.
Right, and this is how you have to play it if you're Najin Shield. I love that aggressive play. We talked about it. You've got to get that edge early with this team composition. You play this one late if you're Najin Shield, and you're never going to be able to kill Gimgun Shyvana ever in a billion years.
It's been a weird series, but we may have a little bit of a dive coming in from Swift, Arrow, and Peekaboo.
Yeah, I like this play. Goong's still level 1, but he does have a little bit of wave clear right there. And looks like they pushed the wave maybe just a little bit too quickly. They kind of caught it on the edge of the tower.
I think you're right. I think they may have. Never mind. They're going to dive it. Here we go. Goong in a little bit of trouble. Arrow gets stopped up underneath it. That is a fast kill. Man, and Peekaboo tanking those turret hits really well. That's going to be a lot of damage on the turret as well.
Yeah, this 2v1, though, we talked about this last game with the Doran Shield going to work out in the favor of Xenics Storm. This is a situation that they've got the gold generation item. They will have, over time, a better advantage on their support champion, and that's the danger of taking that Doran Shield. You've got to turn it into something. Nofe made the play in mid lane, not the play on bot, so Gorilla really getting not a whole lot out of this except for the gold given to him by his master.
And top lane goes down as well. Xenics Storm coming back with the equalizing kill and then some.
Yeah, they're just pushing mercilessly up there on that turret.
Now they see Nofe coming up, and Swift's going to go down to meet him. Maybe. We'll see. They're going to back off together. I think it's a smart idea. Q over the top. Not a target Nofe really wants to jump in on.
Yeah, they definitely need to back off right now.
Yep.
So just coming in.
Not done yet. So save, farming under turret in that mid lane. Coco did push it up to go back. Do a little bit of buying. Arrow, ooh, they do get the Q on him, so Arrow's going to retreat into the minion wave for a moment.
Well, what is Najin Shield going to do about this? They're taking more damage onto their tower. No Faye. Well, again, they decide to back off. Last time it was a bit of fake, but they wanted to push the wave up. So the decision right there was they didn't want the wave to freeze. So go ahead, shove it all up, have the turret.
Yep. Oh, Nofe engages, but there's the cocoon. There's the Zenith Blade, and Nofe. Why in the world would you go onto Swift like that? That was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, especially considering he had a ward in that brush right there. Nofe knew it as well. He had a
should have been well aware that the bot lane of Arrow and Peekaboo was still close by.
So bit of a misplay, but anyway, they pushed the wave in just to reset it so that Goom wasn't going to get a freeze deep in the lane. You can see it already pushing out back towards that tier 1 turret, so they circled back around in order to make sure that happened.
Yeah. Before
recalling and sending their duo back into that lane. Targon's brace grabbed by Peekaboo.
When you get 2 assists that fast, that's certainly what happens, and that Sheen for Arrow as well is going to be helping him do quite a bit of poke.
Yeah, Swift also itemizing a bit differently this game. He goes for the fast Sork shoes this time, wants to get that damage in. And that's a good idea because he needs to have the power in order to successfully counter the Lee Sin and potentially Kha'Zix's combo and balance out the early game power that Najin Shield has in this situation. So going tanky, he'll be able to get it eventually right here, but just for these skirmishes, for these little 1-on-1 or 2-on-2s, considering he got the 2 kills already.
Oh, no, Nofe gets caught. A little bit of damage put onto him. A lot of damage put onto him, actually. And Nofe having kind of a rough game, man. I mean, we're seeing him do things that we would normally not see him do, I feel.
Yeah. So I really like this idea. So if you have the money, if you have the 2 kills, you know if you're sending Storm, we've got this in the late game.
Yeah.
Their danger is going to be in their damage and their ability to duel and skirmish early on here. So what do? You spend that gold to make sure you also have the skirmish advantage. Just say, Gimgoon, you're going to get tanky enough late. I'll get tanky late too, but they balance out the power spike that Najin Shield has at the moment with some effective use of gold.
That's right, blue buff the point of contention now as it may come up pretty soon here. Save actually went for his Q first as far as his first evolution goes.
Well, he wants that isolation damage. He wants to be able to go all in. Not planning on getting those team fights or resets, but that's going to affect Najin Shield's ability to deal with this dragon. They actually pull off the dragon right there as soon as they see Nofe up around the blue buff. Yeah, a little bit too dangerous to go for that at this point. Yeah, they should push it right now, though. So Gimgoon making the rotation down, just check out the red, drops a ward, and starts stealing. Save, moving it up with Goon. He'll know it's there. Gimgoon backs off immediately. Now what they should do, though, is they really should just go for a dragon. Yeah. It's all pushed up in the top lane. There's really nothing that they could do to stop it. Well, Xenics Storm, they know they can't give up really any kills, too. They don't want to give any momentum back to Najin White Shield. Be careful. Coco trading pretty heavily with save. Coco has a couple pots left on him, though, so he's going to be the one who wins out in terms of that sustained blue buff up. Swift. Right. Oh, Swift gets stunned by that anti-stun. Swift in big trouble. There's the repel. Can he get away? Ignite ticking, and he will make it out. Just barely. Close call. This is... Xenics Storm is trying for too many objectives right now. They wanted the red buff. They couldn't quite get it. They wanted the blue buff. They couldn't quite get it. They could have just taken Dragon this entire time, and instead they overplay their hand. We see Swift get chunked out right there, having to go back, and now they've lost their timing window. Yep. Gonna hand that blue buff over to Coco. But aside from that, Xenics Storm, the momentum is stalling a little bit. This is why, as a pro team, it's so important to have, here's what happens, in these situations, if you listen to pro teams' communication a lot of the time. You've got these guys on the team where everybody's saying, go back, Gimgoon, we're going to make this play on Dragon or whatever. And then, there's another guy on the team who says, wait, we can go for this blue buff maybe. But you need everybody on the same page, because as soon as somebody goes back to make a play, they've wasted time of another laner. And getting chunked out right there just frankly isn't worth it. Yep. You have to be a cohesive unit. Yeah, now Gimgoon has to push in the top lane again, and it's just it just reset everything and delayed Xenics taking an advantage for a little bit longer right here.
Save a little bit down in CS, had to farm under turret for quite a while.
They have another perfect opportunity to take Dragon right here.
Will they take it?
No.
Okay, then.
They won't do it, apparently.
I guess not. They don't. You know, they've got Shyvana on their team, and that makes them very sort of sensitive to the feelings of the Dragon.
Coco, oh, they're...
Now Coco's going to get jumped on here. Pops that shockwave right away, and Swift comes in to claim that kill. Nice counter gank from Xenics Storm. A close call. Solar Flare goes down. They nearly catch Nofe, and Nofe doing everything he can to get out. Will he be able to do it, though? Very, very low. Oh, he gets hit with the cocoon, and that is it. Swift with the double kill there. Or 2 kills, not quite fast enough for the double kill, but got 2 of them. And now it's a 4-man push onto this mid lane. Kung tries to use his ultimate to break people up and does clear a lot of the wave. So they won't get the turret.
Xenics, please do Dragon.
I think they're going to now, yeah. Arrow is in position. He's got that lane starting to push up. There we go.
They really baited that out nicely, though. You could see that Coco was positioning himself in a very tantalizing way, and they had Swift right there behind the turret.
Yeah. Oh, Gorilla comes in, and Peekaboo's going to respond right away. It's a support duel with Arrow helping out just a little bit. Goon comes in. Dragon does get taken by Swift. Gorilla's out of the fight now. A couple kills. Coco looking for another one. Gorilla very low. The safeguard. Will it keep him alive? Meanwhile, a double kill from Save elsewhere. And finally, the support duel ends with Peekaboo coming out victorious, but he's going to pay for it. Another kill added on to Zepha's total. And that is 4 deaths now for Xenics Storm. A disaster after that very delayed Dragon.
It was a delayed Dragon, not only that, but this is another play calling mistake that we're seeing from Xenics this game. You need to decide, are you finishing, are you turning? We're seeing Xenics not be entirely on the same page today, and even though they've been able to get advantages, Najin Shield is exploiting their rather lackadaisical play calling.
Yeah.
Look, just make a decision. So right there, we see Kimgoon and Swift decide that they're going to finish. Well, the support and Arrow is all straight up in the front. And with Save here with his evolved Q early on, that's just not something you can do. He's dealing too much damage to these isolated targets. That was the best possible scenario for Najin Shield, and they certainly took advantage of it.
Oh, yeah. It's a tough situation.
You got it.
Storm,
you have to make that decision before you start the Dragon. Are we turning? Are we finishing? And you can't have your carry running around turning while your 2 tanks are in the back of the Dragon Pit trying to sort things out.
Right. Well, this is one of the reasons where people weren't expecting a whole lot from Xenics Storm this season, and I think they kind of surprised everybody with just how aggressive they were. But when it comes down to it, you know, that aggression kind of does cover some more serious problems that the team has in general.
Well, they are going for another aggressive play right here. A good idea. Go ahead and move everybody down there. Have Kimgoon
take the turret.
Clean up the mid lane.
There we go. All right, so there's the turret. So Xenics Storm getting something out of it. They do maintain a little bit of a gold lead and a turret lead, but they really cannot afford to have any more errors like they just did at Dragon Pit.
Yeah, the advantage, too, is that once you give some of these kills over to the carries, I mean, Save got really scary. You can see him, he's building up, has that Tiamat already going for this split-pushing style of Kha'Zix. So when we see the Q evolution first, not looking to get the resets from Gragas in the team fights where you burst everybody apart and then use the isolation damage to quickly burst people down and get moved from jump to jump to jump and reset to reset to reset. But this time, going for the Tiamat, going for the Q just so he can duel effectively, and that'll allow Najin Shield to take down another turret and get even closer into this game.
Makes sense. And can Kuhn get that blue buff? Oh, no, he can't.
Coco got it.
Just misjudged the damage a little bit, and that left it easy for Coco to take with that auto attack. But meanwhile, Xenics Storm does manage to grab the blue on the other side.
They're going to take 2 blues at the same time. That's pretty solid if they want to siege over the course of the next few minutes. Goon no longer has those double buffs that he picked up in that messy team fight around the Dragon early.
Right.
So they got to do something with this.
You know, Gragas also apparently a champion that buys boots but then doesn't put them on. Just kind of carries them around. He probably puts them in the barrel or something.
They're invisible boots.
I guess so.
Just like every item in League of Legends.
They're like those boots that have the toes cut out. It's supposed to be like better for you when you're running and stuff like that. I don't know what they're called, but that's what Gragas likes, you know. He's big on cardio.
Big, yeah, clearly. You can really tell.
The biggest on cardio. Yep. Have you ever worn those?
No.
Me neither. I don't know. They look kind of freaky. Really, with all your fine suits and ties, you never wore the boots with the toes kind of shaped out? I'm surprised.
I know. It's really, really a shocker.
It is. I would have thought you'd be like first in line at the shoe store for those, you know?
Well, Save evolves his E now, so he does have that reset potential coming into the next team fight, so he will be dangerous if Goon gets a good ultimate off. Kim Goon still struggling a little bit. You know, he is down on farm compared to his lane
quite a bit
opponent by a significant amount. I mean, technically, I guess you could say he was his lane opponent, you know, was in that
He's his own lane opponent.
1v2 situation, but
oh, here we go. Swift getting jumped on big time, picking a little bit of damage as he comes in. Gorilla has to make a run for it. And no more action there as Tibbers teleports out just in time.
Yeah, trading CC for CC right there, so swapping the ultimates. Not the worst thing in the world, and at least Xenics Storm didn't have to deal with the damage coming in from Kha'Zix being there, but 50 seconds left till Dragon's up.
Yep, Swift did get very low in that fight. So Gorilla gonna recall and probably immediately come back to lane. He needs to really hurry up.
So Xenics playing it cool now. They probably should give over the next Dragon just because, again, they need to last this out.
Yeah.
This is the sweet spot right now for Najin Shield. Right after this Kha'Zix hits his second evolution, this is where Shield's team composition is particularly dangerous. But Xenics Storm, they can just let him have that Dragon, keep on farming the lanes, apply some pressure to top on that tier 2 turret. But Kim Goon making a move, rotating down. So it looks like they will be grouping.
It seems that way.
Tibbers is down, though, for the start of this fight, so that's going to be quite important. And Solar Flare will be back up sooner, so we may see a timing here from Xenics Storm while they try and abuse the difference between those two cooldowns.
It's going to be a pretty tight timing.
But it's quite doable.
There we go. Xenics Storm going for the Dragon. Gorilla coming down, but like you said, no Tibbers, and they're going to take it and get away clean.
That was perfect timing from Xenics Storm right there.
Yeah.
Because even though the Solar Flare wasn't quite up, it would have been for that fight. Meanwhile, Gorilla down to flash, couldn't even flash W to get in there for the stun.
Yep, very true.
No Tibbers as well for the ranged engage, so just a little bit too dicey.
Yep. And so, slight gold lead, but overall, very close game here in game number 3.
Yeah, Save just going to back off of this one. They don't want to pursue this too deep. Now they have Goong trying to stop the split pushing up here. Kim Goon doesn't have any magic resistance so far, and of course Goong able to just clear out the towers, deal some poke damage, so he's going to stay tight and close to the turret, but not able to, I mean, there's not going to be a way that Kim Goon's actually going to get turret damage right here either, so.
Yep.
But everything else, I mean, proceeding apace right now. Arrow actually not too far behind on Zephyr in terms of CS, and actually a little bit ahead considering the Targon's been completed.
Yeah. He's actually doing quite well.
Yeah, this is the first time I think we've really seen Arrow be up in CS against Zephyr. That's not been something that's been working out so well for Xenics Storm so far.
Yeah, Zephyr's always definitely been more of a farming heavy AD carry, and Arrow, of course, tried to rely on those plays. But that Targon's Brace coming in pretty nice. I always want to call it Targon's Embrace, but it doesn't sound like Targon was the kind of guy to
Give hugs.
embrace people. Yeah, he didn't sound like a very huggy kind of guy. I don't know. I've never met him, so. But
I think you're just mischaracterizing Targon.
Maybe.
Wow, actually Save really far ahead in gold right now.
Yeah, that last Whisper already. Man, that's going to be a lot of damage coming out.
About 1,500 gold ahead, and that's massive considering the amount of armor penetration he has right now. Even with the Sunfire Cape, Kim Goon going to have a lot of trouble split pushing against him if that's what Najin Shield decides to do.
They may just want to fight here. I mean, they've got a strong team fight as well.
And a cool buff over to Save. Lower that cooldown reduction just a little bit. But we're back into, I mean, this game had a lot more action early than the previous 2 games in this series, but it is slowing down a little bit now.
Yeah. Well, the red. Oh, Goon dodges that Zenith Blade. Oh, True Shot Barrage dodged as well.
Interesting. He actually got hit by the Zenith Blade because we saw the passive from Leona, but it didn't actually trigger her movement for some reason. But
you know, did he get caught by the edge of the W maybe?
Yeah, maybe that could have been
I think that's probably it, yeah. Well, they're going to make their retreat. Xenics Storm after stealing that red buff.
So it's making a quick little loop through the Najin Shield jungle. Shield going to respond with clearing out some pink wards instead. And are they going to go for it? Again, I really think they should wait this one out. This Kha'Zix is really dangerous right now.
Yeah, this is a really dangerous moment. I mean, the possibility of an explosive cask stunning everybody against the wall is not a good one. And there we go. Oh, a nice solar flare. Oh, and a beautiful shockwave over the top. But do they have the damage to continue? They do. Gorilla goes down immediately. Explosive cast from Goong. Tries to push people away, but Gimgoon all over No-Fe and Goong in the back line. Peekaboo taking some damage from the outside. Gimgoon looking for a kill. Can he chase? There's that command protect. Going after Goong. Goong a bit low, but he should have that body slam cooldown. There it is. He's going to be able to use that to get out of it. And so a kill onto Gorilla after what looked like a really good engage from Xenics Storm, but not able to get as much out of it as I thought they were going to.
Yeah, but that was critical that they caught both Save and Goog in that, because that led to just a total retreat. And actually Save.
Whoa.
Oh, he
whoops.
Takes out Peekaboo right there. You can't be alone with that Kha'Zix at the moment. He's too damn strong.
That's the thing, is I think he can take up pretty much whoever he wants to at this point if he finds him one-on-one.
He 100% can.
He will taste their fear, man.
Yeah, he's incredibly dangerous.
Yep.
So that was the right play, though. So in that team fighting situation, Goong and Save getting them so low so early on in that fight just forced Shield to turn tail and run. And they had the edge. They maybe over-pursued a little bit right there, because catching up.
Well, let's watch this again. What a beautiful solar flare.
Oh, my.
And then the
Three-man stun, and then the shockwave pulling and saving Goong after that. Yeah. No way they can continue the fight at this point. Managed to take out Gorilla.
You know, Gorilla had a really good Tibbers in the back line. That slowed up a few members just enough.
This is a mistake right here. You're just not going to catch up to Lee Sin and Gragas, even with that speed help from Orianna on the W.
And they had a minion wave. They could have just pushed up to mid-turret and taken that out.
That was definitely, they over-pursued for those kills one more time. And especially because Goong and Save were no longer a threat at all, they wouldn't be able to sit there and wave clear without a massive threat of being dove. And instead they chose to take a bunch of poke right there. And couldn't convert it into an objective, and ultimately just traded 1-for-1 support for support.
Goong defending his turret. He does have good wave clear, of course. That turret still has plenty of health remaining on it. And now this may be a fight that Najin Shield wants to go for. Tibbers is up, although stun is not, or flash is not, rather, from Gorilla. They do have that option.
Well, you can see they're trying to come from a flank right here and break this fight into these skirmishes.
No-Fe on the outside as well. They see Swift coming down with the ward. And Save waiting for an opportunity to hop over the wall. Interesting. All right, well, can they engage here? Ooh, everybody grouped up quite a bit.
No-Fe
getting, there's explosive cast. Tossing people right into the Gorilla, though. And there's another big solar flare. Everybody slowed down, and Najin Shield on the run already. Another disengage, though. They do have good poke as they kite backwards.
And here we go. They should just go for this. They've zoned him out of the tower. They can get some hits on it right now.
Save is still very scary here.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Oh, Goong actually taking a lot of damage from Orianna. Go, and there's a flash cocoon, and Swift can't hit it. Oh, man.
Yeah, just jumping out right there with the Kha'Zix E.
Yep.
Arrow taking a bit of poke. They do get a little bit more damage down, but Xenics Storm still pretty indecisive right here, not able to pull out anything from the catch that they got into No-Fe. No-Fe miraculously, living through that situation.
Well, now Dragon's up, and Najin White Shield's going to get it. And look at this, Xenics Storm not really even in a position to push mid or anything. That's rough, and I mean, now they've got the lanes pushing towards them. It just looks like Xenics Storm is kind of losing control of this game.
Yeah, they really are, and this is the thing. We've talked about how they've made numerous mistakes that have allowed Najin White Shield to really exploit them, and they had the better sustain right there as well. No problems getting all healed up and then coming back in, taking the dragon, and closing this gold gap even further.
Well, it's going to be an interesting rest of the game here as the things are still pretty even, but Shield a bit of an edge. Xenics Storm is going to need to look for kind of those perfect team fights now.
Yeah, Shield still, of course, does have that compositional disadvantage.
Yeah.
Kim Good now going for the Randuin Zone, and he's getting super tanky. And, you know, he doesn't even need to really buy any MR this game past a certain point, because the HP, if he could just survive the first rotation of Gragas' cooldowns, then he's going to be fine afterwards. Because they have to get somebody, they have to get Shyvana low enough with burst in order for a save to finish her off. And the more of these, the more Randuins that, you know, Giant's Belt items that this Shyvana gets, the better off she's going to be.
Absolutely. Arrow with a little bit of damage onto Zephyr. That's a good poke. Manages to keep his ward alive.
Now, Arrow, a bit of an interesting itemization as well, going for the Blade of the Ruined King. I assume this is mostly for the active because, of course, there's not actually that much HP on the other team. We talked about this, no real true tanks except for Nofe, but he needs that to be able to kite out of Kha'Zix, I think.
Right, I think he wants to have that dueling potential, too, in case he meets somebody he doesn't want to meet.
Yeah, double Randuin's going down, too, so Peekaboo just building pure tank right now, which is, again, exactly what this situation deserves. If you can outlast this team, and because they are so dependent on burst casters for damage, then you're going to be fine, and you can just allow Arrow and Coco with more sustained DPS over a course of a team fight to whittle people down, and Shyvana being that huge threat as well.
Yeah. Still a very passive game, and I feel like, you know, if you compare these games today to some of the ones earlier in the season, I feel like there's a lack of confidence on Xenics Storm. You know, they're being less decisive because they're second-guessing themselves, which isn't something we saw them do a lot in the group stages. I think one of the things that made them so strong is that they just went for stuff, you know?
Right, or they're splitting up, and it looks like they're making too many calls at the same time, and they don't have that same unity.
Either way, a bit flustered, a little bit of a step back from what we saw in the group stages. They need to pull together if they want to beat Najin White Shield. And there's a nice shockwave. That certainly helped. Two-shot barrage comes through and helps Swift pick up that kill. That was a nice play. That was decisive. They slow down Gorilla with that solar flare, but don't get a lot out of it.
Well, they take a chunk out of him, though. Will make it very difficult to defend this. And Kim Good now snaking around the side, trying to zone out save. They can't defend the turret.
Yeah, they get that turret. Nofe having to back and then save, having to walk away from Wolves. Nice word from Peekaboo.
Yeah, they're not
Oh! You don't want to find a Kha'Zix in the jungle. That is the last thing the support wants.
Yeah, now they're able to actually press their advantage right here, though. Tying up save on the side.
That's right. Peekaboo just zoning him out very, very nicely. Nofe tries to come in with Gorilla. He goes down immediately by Gorilla. Goodbye, Tier 2 turret. And here we go. Xenics Storm now. That's the decisiveness. That's the confidence in maneuvers that we were looking for.
It was so good to shove save out of the fight. The zone right there set up by Xenics Storm was perfect for that situation. It allowed them to dive without fear of save, you know, cleaning up somebody low and getting that reset off. So really well done by Peekaboo.
Oh, Goong. Huh. There's Repel. They're going to try to catch him. Oh, the explosive cask actually pushes some people towards him. But they're going to have to back out with no minion waves. A lot of turret damage taken by Peekaboo. Cocoon is going to help them disengage a bit. And Nofe, with the Q onto Swift. He's going deep, kicks Swift back into the team. Recall immediately, repel immediately. And actually, Nofe just gives himself up.
Well, right there, too, what you'll notice is that the repel, they bursted down Nofe, but it lasted, the repel lasted, or Nofe lasted long enough that Swift actually repelled back after the kick.
Exactly,
So they didn't even get the pick off of that because Nofe lived just long enough for the repel to complete.
Yep.
And 1 minute till Dragon. True Shot Barrage to clear out the minion wave in the top lane. And Xenics Storm now just pulling further and further and further ahead. And this is post 30 minutes. This is where they're going to shine. Randuin's complete onto Gimgoon. Giant's Belt picked up by Peekaboo. And at this point, you got to say Najin Shield, with their team composition and their itemization, they're going to have such a hard time. Save has picked up Yomu's Ghost Blade.
What a big change between between 10 minutes ago and now for this Xenics Storm team. They just got it together suddenly.
Well, it's also they're hitting a power spike with their composition, but the Najin shield too is like, I don't understand why they're playing this comp. We talk about how they're strong. Where is Zepha's Caitlyn? That's what I want to see.
Exactly,
that's what they've been good, is the fast pushing, the rotations, the early turrets has been where this team shines. And we say this is not a playmaking team. They're not making plays. If you're going to play Gragas, Kha'Zix, and like insane bursts, you got to be able to make plays.
Yep, very true. Well, Najin White Shield pushing down the mid lane, trying to get this tier 2 turret.
Yeah, just continuing to put on the poke, but oh wow, are they actually
get it? I guess they will. Yeah, a little bit of a misstep by Xenics Storm there, giving away that turret.
They may get a ridiculous pincer attack right here, though.
They certainly could. Yeah, Orianna coming in from the top. It looks like Shield may just barely get out. Nofe back behind enemy lines.
Yeah, they did push in top, but this is another. They bowed to the pressure right there. They pushed up 2 lanes. Okay, they'll take Dragon out of it. So here is a.
Well, we'll see. Nofe coming in as well. Coco a bit half health. Explosive cast doesn't do anything. Gorilla looking for an opportunity. There's the Tibbers. Onto Kim Goon. Oh, Shockwave right onto Kim Goon as well. Save, zoned out of the fight. And remember, that's exactly what Xenics Storm needs. Nofe taken down by Arrow. Arrow still with full health remaining. Barrier and the shield as well. Helps him get another kill. Kim Goon grabs that one. Swift over the wall. Onto Goon, wraps him up with that cocoon. And there's the Zenith Blade over the wall. Nice play from Peekaboo. And Swift with yet another kill. And Save just has not been able to participate in these team fights.
I just don't get it, though. Like, if you're... This Kha'Zix is kind of all over the place in terms of, was he going to split push? But the plan about how to execute this composition from Najin Shield is just... It's not been there, and the mechanics haven't been there either. I mean, Goon just totally airballed his ultimate, and I mean, Kim Goon is way too tanky for them to deal with at the moment, especially when they can't even get the burst down from Gragas.
Well, Gorilla got into that awkward position too, where it's like, well, I guess I'll just ult onto Kim Goon only, which does nothing.
Yeah, doesn't do anything at all. That's absolutely right.
I mean, you get into those team fights with Annie sometimes, and you're like, well, I'm on the complete wrong side of this team fight, and you have to stun somebody, and it's just, it's going to be bad.
Yeah,
it's
tough. So they're trying to make a play on this again, and they do kick Arrow, but Arrow just eases right out of it.
Yeah.
And Gimgoon coming in as well, you can see just, like you're saying, Doa, that ult used, and then Gimgoon immediately ulting over, throws Nofe back in, he takes some free damage. Arrow, too, just coming up and eating over the wall, and then going into dual mode with Zepha, Blade of the Ruined King active, going down, and the Command Protect able to help him out a little bit right there.
The timing for that ended up being perfect because we saw in that replay that Gorilla's flash was just about to come up, but it was not up yet. And if he could have flashed over Kim Goon, could have easily gotten the 3-man Tibbers in the back line. So tough break for Gorilla there.
Got to coordinate that, though.
You do. You really do.
That's what that's what Najin Shield should be talking about in terms of their comm.
I'm sure they are right now. You probably don't need to tell them that. They're probably not too happy about that one. Whoa. It's the longest ball has ever traveled.
So here we go.
Yeah, that siege onto the tier 2 turret. Kim Goon tanking a lot of that. He could probably just tank the culling if he wanted to too, but doesn't even need to.
I love Korean Lucian.
I know, right? It's kind of funny. I'm going to make my elephant sound now.
Elephants are good at culling things, right?
I guess so. Culling large swaths of vegetables.
Now this siege. It's got to just keep on rolling right here.
Yep.
And, they don't have the best. Oh, they're trying to go in.
Oh, Flash Tibbers onto Kim Goon again. All right, well, that's a bit odd. They're going to turn around now. Kim Goon taking those turrets and explosive casts. Fun to see, but no follow-up. A lot of damage, though, on the Xenics Storm. They need to be careful here. There we go. Now Save comes in. Goes down immediately, though. That didn't end up working. And Shield finally manages to get that kill onto Swift. The turret by the inhibitor getting low. Kim Goon finally needs to back off. There's that Command Protect from Coco. They took a lot of damage, but in the end, man, Save just evaporated coming in. And I really got to question that Tibber stun this time from Gorilla, because that was just clearly not what you want.
Right, especially considering you used Flash for that one as well.
I know, yeah,
But also, Xenics Storm making more mistakes. Again, target calling, plan, not there when they went on that turret. So when they went back in, you saw Swift he was going after some of the champions, but two members of Storm were just focusing on the tower, and Swift was way too deep in order to make that happen. So it's just they've got to have better planning before they go after that.
Pretty messy fight for both sides. Let's check this out.
Yeah, coming in right there. Oh my,
he tried to catch Peekaboo with that too, I guess, but just barely missed it.
Yeah, and couldn't quite get it. So Swift gets in. They do get some decent damage down onto Save right there. Save pops his ult. And there's actually relatively good explosive cast to get some damage down. Now they pop Randuin's in the back line for no reason, so waste Randuin's as well. So Save gets onto Coco, but just that damage coming out of Xenics Storm too much, and that causes, see right here, Swift.
What the? Yeah, I mean, it's good to get kills, but when you have that chance at an objective, you take that. It's going to be worth more than kills 9 times out of 10.
Especially with Save down too, and Tibber's down and everything like that. If they had just backed off, waited for the next minion wave, they had the superior wave clear, they had the superior poke, just use that 5v4 advantage to regroup with the Baron buff and the sustain that you have, and then turn that into an inhibitor instead of just kind of going crazy. So Xenics Storm, they have a good lead in this game, but they could have there have been multiple points in this game where this lead could have been even bigger.
Right. It's going to have been a bit of a comedy of errors. Well, here we go. Gim coming in. No Fei a little bit trapped. Flashes out of that shockwave, though. Pretty good shape there. And the disengage from Storm.
Yeah, no more Baron buff right now for Storm either, but they're just going to rotate and try and focus down this turret that they've already managed to take relatively low.
Yeah, they should be able to get it with some proper sieging this time around. They do have the poke from Ezreal coming in.
Yeah, Ezreal Ori, they have a poke advantage. And wow, a lot of wards just going down right there.
Yep.
Make sure they have some sort of vision.
Oh yeah. Arrow's got to be careful here going in by himself onto that turret. He needs to be a bit cautious. And Storm going to back off. No minion wave for quite a while.
They want to set up for some of these objectives again. We are looking at Baron only a minute out right now. They've got to make sure that they have the ward presence able to control that one more time. And they should be able to win any kind of fight right there. You'll also notice Arrow has picked up a Guardian Angel, which is incredibly smart. Because again, what is Najin White Shield dealing? It's that burst damage. If he can survive a rotation and just GA right back out of it, that's a really good pickup for him right now. Also gives him the mixed armor MR stats that he needs against both Save and Goon. So I like that buy a lot.
It's a good pick. And so Dragon coming up. Looks like Shield's going to go for that one. Baron right afterwards, about 40 seconds out now, 30 seconds or so after Dragon appears. And there he is.
So I guess Shield is just giving up on the Baron, or they're trying to sneak it.
Well, I mean, they can move up right away. Oh, recall though from Gorilla. Interesting.
A little bit risky.
Yeah, really risky.
Storm has the control over the Baron pit right now. They're not. They have to wait for a little bit in order for the Baron to come back up, but
no home guard or anything like that. No, never mind. Gorilla does have home guard. He's got that. So Baron up in about 6. So Gorilla, assuming he can get back with that boot enchant quick enough.
So just setting up the pick right here.
Now they're going to go for Baron. Did go down very quickly last time, and it will. Wow, and Baron's dropping fast. They're doing a lot of damage, but they need to finish it off. Nofe kicks Peekaboo back out. And there we go, Tibbers down onto Coco, and they steal Baron. Zephyr with the steal, but 2 kills already. Coming back to make that 3 now for Xenics Storm, so the Baron steal may not be enough. Save coming in, tries to assassinate Coco, and Coco barely does not escape due to Goong. Save going down though, and it's still going to be a huge win for Xenics Storm. They should not have lost that Baron, but at least they won the team fight.
And they should do this, ignore Goong and just force pressure up the middle. So yeah, they lost actually to the culling. Swift did not use Smite during that fight. Xenics Storm, despite the fact that it's like for every 2 steps they take forward, they're taking 1 step back this game.
Wow, well, they're going to get this inhibitor. Whoa, Goom getting Swift very low. You don't just want to take that. Oh, Swift.
He's going spider hunting.
Whoa! Close call.
Yeah, this may have been an overreach by Goong right there.
I think you may be right.
Goong has to be, I mean, he can burst down arrow and at least take out the GA. He does have both Ignite and his ultimate still up.
Yeah, well, Xenics Storm's smart not to chase that. They would have been delayed long enough for other members of S.H.I.E.L.D. to get there and cause problems, so good to just go back after taking down the inhibitor.
So Goong is the last man standing with that Baron buff.
Kind of the last hope, too, for Najin White's shield. Baron buff's kind of tight on Gragas.
Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable.
A little bit. Chase. A bit. Circling the torso there.
Taking buffs as well, so Najin Shield really making the most out of this situation.
Yeah.
Large minion wave up there in top lane. Looks like they're not going to go for it immediately. Instead, grabbing blue buff first for Coco. Interesting, more Warden's Bale for Peekaboo. I kind of wonder what that's about, but just need as much armor as possible, I suppose.
Wants to be able to walk right into save and high-five him.
I wouldn't want to high-five those crazy bug hands.
I guess you really can't, you know? Maybe.
Sounds like a fast way to not be able to high-five anybody ever
I guess
again.
you're right, just wave, I don't know. Sorry, Xenics Storm, Baron was up, and you lost it.
I hope we get to see a replay of that. So
Me too, that was crazy, man.
Not exactly sure what happened right there. They also, you know, they used Solar Flare to try and stop Nofe from being a nuisance in the pit.
Little did they know the culling was coming for Baron. It's time for Baron to get culled. All right, here we go. Gimgoon says hi to Nofe. Nofe gets away with that safeguard.